Welcome back, everyone. In this video, we'll be talking about how to access MOER assignments. So there are many ways to access an assignment. So if you scroll down to the calendar, let's just pick on a 1.5, for example, in this problem. So if you look in the calendar, if you click on the date that has 1.5, you can access it here from the calendar, video lesson 1.5. Notice we cannot access homework 1.5 because it requires 100% on the video lesson to access that. We could also go into module 1 and go to section 1.5 in the folders, and we would also see video lesson 1.5. So go ahead and let's click on that, and you'll see you get this opening screen that gives you some directions. You can go ahead and say start. There's an intro instructions. You can go ahead and start the video, which pulls up the video. I'm going to pause that, and I'm going to skip past that to question number 1, for example. So if this first question, right, you can, the graph of a function, blah, 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 right? So you notice here you have 3 tries on this question. And then once you've used 3 attempts, it will regenerate the question for you if you want. You have 99 options to do that. So practically infinity. So the idea is a couple things. If you jump to answer, it'll use your remaining tries, so it'll take all 3 tries. We say OK. You'll notice sometimes there'll be a detailed solution. You can see the answer is shifting the graph of f of x up 38 units, but you can also see the detailed solution about how that was come at. Notice here, if we do, if we say, okay, we're not happy with that, we want to try a similar question because we need to get this right. If you click on try a similar question, you'll notice here now we only have 98 more regenerations. We have 3 tries to do this. So if I get this thing wrong, let's say, so let's see if I do this. Notice I only have 2 more tries at this problem. And let's go ahead and get it wrong again. Notice I only have 1 more try, and let's get it wrong the last time. And now that's going to show you the answer. So after the 3 times, it'll show the answer. You can click on Show Detailed Solution again to get that detailed solution, or you can go ahead and click Try a Similar Question again. So let's go ahead and get this question right. So I know how this works. Let's see, it's going to go down 4 units, so I go ahead and get it correct. You'll see now question 1 has a check mark next to it as opposed to a blue dot, meaning I am completed that. If I want to try a similar question, I can do that. If I do that, right, it gives me a new question to do, right? But it still doesn't change my actual gradebook score. I still have full credit in the gradebook. Notice my score in the gradebook is still 20 out of 100, even if I get this wrong. So let's go ahead and get this wrong. Notice my score is still 20 out of 100, right? If I say I want to try a similar one again, right, I can get it wrong again. Let's see if I make sure I get that wrong. Okay, yep. Wrong again. Notice it jumps right to the answer right away. I mean, technically you get 3 tries, but you're in practice mode at that point because you've already got a full credit question. So some things change. You can continue on to the video, which if you click on this, it'll jump to the second part of the video. But I'm going to go ahead and show you that. Let's just say we go ahead and jump to, notice here question 1 shows the last time I did it, I got it wrong. My score is still 20 out of 100. If I click on question 2, you go ahead and get this. I'm just we're going to randomly pick one. Maybe I get lucky and get it right. No. So you'll see here, though, at the very, very top, right, I still have a score of 20 out of 100. And notice here, I still have 99 tries on this question. Now, if we go to a question that has multiple parts, oops, all right, I meant to go to question 4. Whoops. Yeah, so it has multiple parts. So it has a part here and a part here. So let's just say I get this wrong. I'm just making numbers up here, just randomly, right? So notice I got it wrong. But let's say I try this part again, 5. You'll notice here it shows 1 to 2 tries remaining. Because I tried another thing here, but I kept this exactly the same, it doesn't take another one of its attempts. So I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm going to pull up a different question and show you what we want you doing when you're having multiple part questions. We really kind of encourage you to do them in pieces and make sure you get the first part right before you try to do the second part. Again, we can still always jump to answer. Are you sure you want to do that? If we do, it'll give us an option sometimes to see the answers, and then also show a detailed solution possibly about where those answers came from. So I've gone ahead and opened up another question here. Notice it has multiple parts, right? And so again, let's show you that if let's say I get this this wrong, right? I just make something up here. Notice it says I have 2 to 3 tries remaining depending on the part. Because these were left blank, a blank answer doesn't take one of your attempts at that problem. So I can continue to try this, and let's try to get it right this time. Well, let's actually get it wrong one more time. Oops. So again, now I have 1 to 3 chances, depending on the problem. Let's go ahead and get this right on the last try. Let's see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my degree for this polynomial is 9. Notice I got that right. I have 0 to 3 tries because these all have 3 tries. Now again, I can move on to the next one, right? And let's say I get it wrong, and I say it's 54, whatever, right? It doesn't, again, affect these parts. So again, you should always be doing part 1 before you do part 2, before you do part 3, particularly when they affect each other. And what you'll find out is that some of these times when we have multiple answers like this, they affect each other. The answers we get affect future answers. So again, you can go ahead and try a similar question. You can, again, also jump to the answer. If you want to waste one of your regenerations, that's fine. But when you do that, it will take all your answers away, right, and make you start from scratch. So again, encouraging you in multi-part questions to kind of work through in pieces, particularly as they tend to lead to the next question. All right, I want to talk about what happens if we try to access an assignment that is past due. So let's go ahead into this video lesson 1.1. If I go ahead and click on video lesson 1.1, which you notice was due on Friday, August 7th, and it is now August 9th today. So if I click on that, you'll notice that I get a couple options as a student. So it was due on Friday, 8/7. I have 6 late passes. I can redeem a late pass. It'll open it until tonight at 11:59 p.m., which is a 48-hour late pass window for this class. Now notice, if you do so, if I can just open and practice questions in here, but if I do that, I am removing my right to redeem a late pass. So I can either redeem a late pass or I can go ahead and practice. Now I'm going to save this redeeming a late pass process for another video on late passes, but I wanted to show you what would happen if we went ahead and did that. Now if you go back to something that's due outside of the late pass period, here in section 1.0b, right, if I go ahead and open up video lesson 1.0b, you'll notice I don't even get an option for the late pass because it's outside that late pass. It's open for ungraded practice, and I can just go ahead and practice. It is ungraded. It won't affect anything. So again, if you've already done the video, I can start the video again if I want to watch that video again. So I don't have to worry about not having access to the video. I can still watch it again if I want to. So even if I've already scored 100% on all the other questions. All right, last thing I wanted to show you is that when you're in questions, if you click in the answer box, the math palette pops up. And what will pop up in this math palette, right, is lots of options here. But some things will pop up based on what is needed for that question. But in this problem, right, I can also just type X, hit the caret button, right, which is Shift 6, and get a power button. Or I could type X and hit this power button, and it'll also give me the power up there. I just have to remember that when I want to be done typing in that power, I have to move to the right. So either I click to the right or hit right arrow on my keyboard, and it'll get me out of that power, and I can do other things. So you can start typing things. You can type an infinity if you need that. If you need that symbol, you can type a pi if you need that. And there's lots of things in here, right? You can go ahead to functions. You can type a logarithm with a base, and so on and so forth. So all the math palette stuff is kind of auto pulled up, and it auto previews as you type it. So again, if I do x divided by 5, you'll notice it actually auto previewed to a fraction, right? Even as soon as I did that. Now sometimes you'll get a syntax error, right? Is expecting something weird here, right? It's expecting something different. So you'll pay attention to checking your variables, right? Our variables here, particularly, they told us to use C as our input. So using an X is going to give me some issues. If I put a C in, right, I get another thing. Now it's not an equation, which is what they're expecting. They're expecting an equation. So if I do equals 5, now it's an equation. That syntax error will go away. That doesn't mean that that's correct, right? And I can submit and see that it's not correct, right? But the idea is that the system does kind of give me some hints along the way about how to enter answers. All right, hopefully you're comfortable with how to enter assignments and access them either from the calendar or from the content page, right, the folder, so you can either access from the original calendar here, or you can scroll down to a particular folder for Module 2 and access Homework Assignment 2.3 here. Again, remember that you will not be able to see or access homeworks, right, until you get 100% on the video lesson or whatever other prerequisites are on a course. And we'll talk more about how to access these as well from the gradebook in a future video.